Hello, it's John Heaton, and today I'm going to take you through my top 10 Eric Clapton albums. Similar to Elton John, I'm not going to do the whole shooting match because I don't have every album. There's just been far too many over the years. I have picked up quite a few more than the 10 I'm going to show you, but I'm going to stick to my top 10, although I will give honourable mentions. I think I was a bit harsh in one of my earlier videos on latter-day Clapton, and I think I quite enjoyed listening to albums like Reptile, which I have on CD, and I think it's called Back Home, the one with Love Comes to Everyone is a good one as well, and listened to a couple more on Spotify. I don't think he's put out a weak album as such. I just don't think they, on the whole, maintain the standard he set in the first bit of his career, so I'm going to not include anything in Yardbirds or Cream, so we're just talking solo, but I am going to include Derek and the Dominos as part of his solo catalogue, although obviously it was credited to Derek and the Dominos, and Bobby Whitlock played a big role in terms of co-writing a lot of the songs and co-singing the lead vocals. But because Clapton sings the majority of the lead and writes the majority of the songs, although co-writes a lot, I've counted it. Maybe I shouldn't, but I have counted it as part of his solo catalogue. So that was the rules. So straight into it. Number 10, I've got Journeyman, and I don't have this on vinyl. This is when just released around about the time when CDs were coming in and they were all the rage, and we were really excited to have them. So I kind of stopped buying vinyl for about 20 years and kind of regret it now, because if you want to pick up some of these albums on vinyl, not so much this one, but some albums from the mid to late 90s or early 2000s on vinyl are worth a fortune. But this is a good album. I just I don't think it's particularly consistent. I know, James Griffiths, you were singling out the opening track, Pretending It's Not my favourite. I do like Bad Love, and I do like Running on Faith a lot. And I think he does a superb version of the George Harrison song Run So Far. I actually go as far as to say does a better, more polished version than George does on the posthumous Brainwashed. Breaking Point, I think, is a really decent song. The rest of it is okay, but I was happy with it when it came out. Number 9, I'm going to pick Pilgrim. I think it's from 1998, if I can read the writing. It's so small here. I think it's around that time anyway. But I only got into this album really just recently, because I'd always kind of dismissed it, but I listened to it in the car the other day, and My Father's Eyes is just beautiful. And River of Tears is similarly beautiful ballad. I think Pilgrim is a really nice track, and it's got a good cover version of Born in Time, the Dylan song from Under the Red Sky. So just worth the admission price alone just for those 4 tracks. And it's quite a laid-back album. It's not very rocking, but nothing wrong with that. And at this stage of his career, fine. Number 8, I've got Another Ticket from 1980 or 81, according to whether you look at the date down here on the sleeve or the on the internet. I think it says 81, and here on the record itself it says 81, so it probably is 81, but I think it was basically completed in 1980. So this was recorded in the Bahamas Compass Point studio, where a lot of famous albums were recorded, and it's got Catch Me If You Can, Something Special, which are big favourites of mine. Title track I like, Hold Me Lord, I think is great. Money and Cigarettes, I've got number 7. Not much to choose between these 2 albums. I think, as I said in my review a few weeks ago, very strong side 1. Practically every track on side 1 is a winner, and then side 2 starts off strongly and goes gradually downhill. That's my take on this album. Otherwise it would have been higher, but the highlights, The Shape You're In, Ain't Going Down in particular, absolutely brilliant. Number 6, No Reason to Cry. And again, it's funny, but side 1 is a lot better than side 2, because it starts off amazingly with Beautiful Thing, which is written by 2 guys from the band, Richard Manuel and Rick Danko. And then Carnival is a very fun track from Eric, sign language, a cover of a Dylan song, not released by Dylan ever in his career. And then a blues number called County Jail Blues, which is delightful. All Our Pastimes is quite a commercial song to end side one. So that's a strong side. And then side two, almost identical to Money and Cigarettes. Side one, brilliant. Side two opens very strongly, Hello Old Friend, one of my all-time favourites. And then the rest of side two is, sorry to say, a bit dismissible. So that would have been higher if side two had been better. Number 5, we've got There's One in Every Crowd. I think, Dave Costello, you were saying you like this album. I re-listened to it the other day after you said that, and it's got a lot to like about this album. It was a bit of a letdown after 461, but only slightly. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot is a delightful cover. Little Rachel is a nice groove reggae type song. Maybe I'm thinking of Don't Blame Me is a reggae type song. Little Rachel's just a little groovy track. The Sky is Crying is a standard blues track, not bad, not brilliant. Singing the Blues is a very jaunty opener to side 2. Better Make It Through Today is an outtake from 461 Ocean Boulevard, not quite up to the par of the ballads on that album. But then it finishes extremely strongly with Pretty Blue Eyes, High and Opposites. All delightful tracks, and I'm happy to say this side 2 of this record is a lot stronger than side 2 of the previous ones I showed you. A lot stronger. So yeah, this is a kind of a bit of a forgotten classic. I advise you to go back and listen to it again if you haven't recently. Number 4, I've got Slow Hand from 1977. It starts off with the 3 mega songs, Cocaine, the J.J. Cale cover, and then Wonderful Tonight, Lay Down Sally, just all 3 of them brilliant. And then Next Time You See Her and We're All the Way are 2 tremendous songs to end side 1. And I hate to say it, but he's gone and done it again because side 1 is considerably stronger than side 2. It starts off with The Core on side 2, which is a good kind of bluesy number, but outstays its welcome a little. Superb cover of John Martyn's May You Never next. And then Mean Old Frisco is a leftover from the Derek and the Dominoes sessions, re-recorded. Peaches and Diesel is a pleasant instrumental. Side 2 is pretty decent, but it is not quite as good as side 1, but not as disastrous as side 2 of No Reason to Cry and Money and Cigarettes. Number 3, we're getting towards the top here, Backless. This has a really soft place in my heart. Wonderful gatefold sleeve. He's wearing his West Bromwich Albion scarf, I believe. I'm not sure why Eric if that is the case, why he would be supporting West Bromwich Albion, which is a Midlands side. Maybe I've got that completely wrong. If anyone knows, please tell me. But Backless includes, again, 2 more covers of obscure Dylan songs, which Dylan just gave to him. And Walk Out in the Rain and If I Don't Be There by Morning. It's just absolutely superb songs. I love them to bits. Watch Out for Lucy is a delightful track, a superb J.J. Cale cover. I'd Make Love to You all any time. Tell Me That You Love Me is just one of Clapton's most outstanding love songs. And Promises is a great choice of cover. Golden Ring is about him and Patty, and George and Patty, having split, and now he's with Patty, and the roles have changed and we've rearranged. The ties that bind remain the same. It's a lovely song. And Tulsa Time is a strong choice of cover to end the album, although it is stronger on the live album, Just One Night. Now, number 2, we've got 461 Ocean Boulevard, named because that was where his house was in Miami when he recorded this album. It's got Yvonne Elliman on backing vocals. The previous, at least Slowhand, had Marcy Levy. I don't think Marcy Levy is quite on hand yet on the backing vocals. No, I think she appeared a bit later. But we've got the familiar band here of Jamie Oldacre on drums, I believe. Yeah. Who toured with him when I saw him in '83, and you got George Terry and Dick Sims, Carl Raddle on bass, and it's just a great album. It's an absolutely brilliant opener with Motherless Children. We talk about comebacks. This was his first studio album since Layla, really, and he'd come out with the Rainbow Concert. By the way, I didn't include the self-titled album. I do have it on vinyl somewhere, but I can't find it. But I don't think it would be in my top 10, to be honest. I quite obviously like Let It Rain, but I'm not quite too keen on the female backing vocals, and the overall feel of the album is a little bit dated. So I prefer the later albums on the whole, but it's a decent effort. But back to this album, after Motherless Children, you've got a glorious ballad with Give Me Strength. And then Willie and the Hand Jive is a great reggae number. I Shot the Sheriff, tremendous choice of cover, Bob Marley song. And then on side 2, you've got this glorious cover of a Charles Scott Boyer song called Please Be With Me, which is absolute perfection. Harmonies, guitar, melody. I need to check out the original of that song if it's available. Let me know if you know how to find it, unless it's obvious. I'll check it out if it's obvious. Let It Grow is one of Clapton's best ever ballads. Steady Rolling Man, Mainland Florida, decent but not brilliant ends to the album. So that was 461. And then number 1, well, it's no surprise really. Having chosen to include this as qualification for his solo career, it's no surprise that it's number 1. It's more than a solo album in many respects, because it's got the band really were gelling as a unit. Jim Gordon on drums, Carl Rattle on bass, Bobby Whitlock on keyboards, and Eric on guitar and vocals, and Bobby helping out on vocals as well. And I was just listening to The Crossroads, that box set which Clapton released in the late 80s, and that's got some wonderful outtakes of some of the Dominoes sessions, including Roll It Over with George Harrison on guitar, and Tell the Truth, a faster version produced by Phil Spector. And then I also noticed that there's a 20th anniversary version of this album available with bonus tracks, so I need to check that out. I think I'm talking about a lot of the same tracks as I just mentioned. My particular copy of Layla here is on glorious yellow vinyl. Look at that. I had to pick that up. Wasn't as expensive, considering it's a double album, wasn't as expensive as some artists, no names mentioned, are charging for coloured vinyl. So that was Layla. That was my top 10 Eric Clapton post-Cream albums, and here's the list. And don't expect you agreed with it, and if you didn't, that's fine. It's just my opinion. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.